So welcome back to the channel. For today's video, it's the first in a multi-part series. We're heading on quite a large trip. It's up the east coast towards Newcastle and then up to Edinburgh, across Scotland and over to the Isle of Skye. The first spot we're heading to in today's video is the Angel of the North. It's a large statue that I've driven past a few times, but I've never actually been to, and you can drive right up to it and get a nice shot of it, which I'll show you on screen now. Okay, so here we are, the Angel of the North. After a long trip up the A1M, we have arrived and it's just snuck up on us. So we're just going to have a walk over there and then take a shot. Well, I've just had a wander around it and it is a cracking thing. I think the best view is probably from the front. The sun is very, very bright, so it will be blown out. I'm not going to try and do a high dynamic range picture, but it's a great shot and it's worth a visit if you're in the area for sure. So in terms of equipment today, we're on the 15-35 shooting on the Canon R5, 2.8 lens, but we will be using it at something like 5.6 to start with. Image stabilised, so it's great for doing semi-long exposure shots, and that's it for today. Okay, for the Angel of the North shot, we were at 27mm focal length on our 15-35, so roughly halfway between its max and min focal length. Our shutter speed was 1/200th of a second. We were shooting handheld. It was very bright, so our ISO was low. It was down at 50. The aperture was at 6.3, which gave us a nice sharp image. And in terms of other settings, we were electronic focus, so we were silent shooting. Our subject to detect was set to none, and we were shooting on standard shooting, so single shot. And that's it for settings. So here are a couple of the other pictures I took while I was up there. There were some good opportunities to use the surrounding greenery to frame the Angel of the North. It's a massive statue, so you do need a wide-angle lens, especially if you want to get close to it like I did. But there are some really nice views to be had. Do expect people there, but it's worth a visit. Okay, so here we have the image that I selected. I had in my mind's eye pretty well what I wanted to get when I went to visit the Angel of the North, and it was really getting a wide field shot like this with the sun just dropping behind it somewhere. I knew I wasn't going to be able to get there for sunsets, the other places I was visiting that day, but having it just clipping the wing there is quite nice, and I love the shadow that it cast, which was huge on the ground. There were quite a lot of people there. We have got some people in shot that we'll edit out in a moment. But that's the shot I aim for, and I find it's really useful if you go on a visit like this that you have in your mind what shot you want to take, and then you can sort of build it up around there. And things always change, but it's nice to have in your mind's eye what you want to take. So I am likely to crop the image. I'll probably pull it in something like this using the rule of thirds and popping the angel on that top right quadrant. But I'm very keen to preserve the shadow in the foreground and obviously the angel itself. Because we weren't doing a sunset shot, the sky is less important, so I'm not too fussed what we do with that. So as usual, we will start with a duplicated layer, and I will crop it to start with. Still kept a bit of the blue sky at the top. It's quite balanced between the angel itself and the shadow. Let's start by losing these, 3 people. There's a surprise one. So we use the clone stamp tool. I'll bump the brush size up to about 100 pixels, and it's 100% opacity, and I'm just going to pick a nearby spot, press Alt and click, and then I'm going to drag that down and get rid of this young man. Oh, and his shadow. Don't forget to lose the shadows. Similarly here, we've got a path to consider here as well as the trees in the background. So we'll start with the path. So Alt and click, following the angle of the path to get it aligned. Let's get the path in. I'm not too keen on this bit of fence down at the bottom as well. I think that's quite distracting. So I think I will just lose that as well. If you go in one direction, so if I clone stamp over here and just go down, it looks weird. So when you're doing it, you need to grab from a few different spots and go in slightly different angles, and it will look much more natural when you zoom out. Okay, right, the angel itself can stand to be brightened. So image adjustments, shadows and highlights, and we're only looking at the angel now. So I don't want to go too far, just a little bit will do. Okay, and then let's zoom back out again, back to shadows and highlights, just pull the highlights down a little. If you go too far, it looks weird. I just want to bring the sky out a little bit further. So that's just 6%. It's already quite a vibrant image. So the next thing I'll do is duplicate a layer, and I'm going to bring up the left-hand side of the histogram. So when I pull up levels, Control L, you will see a gap, which I knew there would be because it's very white. It's a very blown out image. And I'm just going to pull that left slider up. And I'm doing that by rotating my middle mouse wheel up. Before, it looked quite washed out, and now it's brought that up a bit. A consequence of that is that the angel gets darker. So I might just boost that again. I'm going to duplicate the layer, image adjustment, shadows and highlights. And then I'm just going to pop that shadows up a little bit again. So that's up 14%. And we'll duplicate the layer again. I'm going to go through selective color, image adjustment, selective color. And I'm just going to zip through every color on the slider. And I've just realized there's a whole person hiding at the feet there. So before I do anything, I'm going to get rid of them. So let's clone stamp him out as well. Well hidden, sir. Now we're going to have to be careful on this bit because we are going to start interfering with the actual angel itself at the bottom there. Okay, so to deal with this, what we're going to do is we're going to use other bits of the image. So we'll have a small brush, and I'm going to make it a hard brush, so it's not going to be feathered. And I'm going to take another part of the image, and I'm going to solid copy that down and make up these last bits. Okay, and then I will move back to our feathered brush that we normally use and just soften the edge around there. Okay, so that looks natural. Okay, as we were then, duplicate the layer again and selective color, image adjustment, selective color. And I'm just going to run through the sliders and have a look at the effect. The green of the grass here is what's bugging me. It's got some red tones to it, but we'll go through a bit of everything and see what we find. Okay, so before and after. So you see it's much more green, the green is, and the blue's popped out a bit more now as well. Okay, we'll duplicate again. I'm just going to see if I can pull up the angel a little further with shadows and highlights. I don't want to go too far with it. Okay. Now, I'm feeling like the crop might need a tweak slightly. It feels that this section here is slightly out of place with the rest of the image, whereas this is quite full and well defined. So that actually feels like a better crop there, and I think it is. So my greens are quite heavily saturated, so I'm going to go image adjustments, vibrance, and I'm just going to pull the saturation down a little bit. I think that's more natural. So before and after. I do like saturated images, but realistic ones too. And I think that will be it for this image. That is exactly what I wanted. I wanted sort of a silhouette, but with some detail in the angel itself and the sun shown behind. I didn't know how far reaching a view I could get at this target, because it's the first time I'd been up to it. But the sort of the angles where you could get a landscape behind it didn't look as good as the front view here. So I think that's my preferred image of the Angel of the North, and I will leave it at that. So I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Join us next time and we'll continue our journey up north. We're heading into Newcastle next and then onwards to Scotland. If you are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe. Thanks.